the bulk order.
Okay, so
Yeah, so I immediately, I placed the bulk order, and then from there, I did a whole kind of, it's called stacking the deck. So it's reaching out to everybody you know, the Strava groups that I reached out to. So the nice thing was I reached out to the Strava groups when they filled out the form about kind of market research side of things. I kept their email and just let them know and reached back out saying, hey, we're actually launching this product. And so doing everything in your power to stack the deck so that when it does launch, people are there. And so for the first hat, I did the pre-order and let them know that you can't pre-order. There's a limited run. We're just trying to see if this will actually work out. So really the scarcity feature is really important to say that it is limited, because it was. And then I said that there was going to be a pre-launch. So I said anybody who pre-ordered, you'll be, of course, prioritized. But then I said that I'll email you guys different discount codes to give to people. I had affiliates associated with it. And so just from there, I just try to stack the deck to where when everything launched, I could send out a post. I knew my caption. I knew everything. I told my friends to try if they could repost. And so a whole bunch of things to try and sell as much in that first day to try and create that buzz associated with it.
yeah.
So, but you can definitely go that route, especially if it's a bigger product. Like I work for Scott Moffitt, and his is a product-based company, and we're working with somebody, and we're actually going the GoFundMe route, because the MVP and buying all that inventory up front is super expensive, especially for the product that we're designing. And so they're having to build that capital through doing the GoFundMe. So there's definitely ways to go about it. But if it is a cheaper MVP, sometimes you can front that capital with the larger MOQ.
Is this business idea, is it related to the nail business that you have, or is it separate?
Idea is like way down the line of like wanting to create like a whole event center where you like learn different skills there, and then it's like on the weekends it's like a wedding venue.
Like an entrepreneurial hub type of thing
like
with,
that would
but
just be like training young people in like skills that then like would facilitate a wedding. So like if you're wanting to learn, like in high school I had like 4 businesses. I did wedding flowers, I did wedding hair, nails, and then I painted. And so like having so many different things, I wish someone would have been like focusing on one and be like really good at that one. And so I think like it's just like throughout college like been thinking like training people to like have something that they love and then helping them start businesses. I think is what like my goal would be. And like I homeschooled for like 2 years a couple of years when I was younger, and we would go to like this place where you would learn different skills. And so like thinking back to that, like we learned how to cook, and like we learned how to like do different like skills. And so that was all funded by the state. So like my dream would be to like have homeschool programs throughout the day, and then like night would be like classes for like moms or groups or whatever. But kind of like bringing in the state, so like it's constantly like being facilitated.
Who's your target audience? I know it's going to differ versus like the daytime and nighttime, but who's your target audience for that?
My daytime would definitely be like the huge population of homeschooling or just kids, and then like after school I would want like an after school program for like public school kids, and then at nighttime it would be like more adults, and then on the weekends would be like events, weddings. And like for a wedding you wouldn't have to like go and be like, oh, I need to figure out a photographer or like a chef. Like it would be really big to where like all of the things are provided there, and like those like businesses in the business would like help teach you.
Do you still have those connections with when you homeschooled? So if you reach out to them and just say if this is something you'd be interested in, just right out the gate, like I have this idea, would you, like if your kids were still this young, would you send them to something like this?
Yeah.
And then reach out to like mom Facebook groups, being like, hey, I have this idea, it's my passion, would you guys actually be interested in signing up to something like this if I actually went down this route? Because I think it's important to solidify that that there's a market for it, because it sounds like a great idea, but you want to make sure that it's there. And then can you like, you do all those things, can you like bundle them? Like can you do every single one for a wedding? Could you sell yourself as a package to like wedding planners?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you don't have to go anywhere. Like you're basically
Could you do it now though without the event center?
Oh, right now.
Like if you had a connection with a wedding planner and be like, hey, I can offer you these services for X amount of dollars, and the wedding planner, like the wedding planner is your middleman to the person who's, so she tries to find all the people who are getting married, and she now has a connection with you. Oh, Allie can do nails. Okay, cool. I have a nail person. Oh, she can also do painting. Sick. I have a painting person. So I think if being able to sell yourself as a package to a wedding planner would be
Yeah.
probably helpful now at least.
Yeah, to start it.
Exactly what Dr. Overrunner told me, because I have like 4 pages, and it's like I just need to figure out like combine
Mhm.
them all for one, so I'm not like doing 4 times the amount of trying to like keep it all combined.
And you can do like cold outreach on Instagram. Like you probably follow people that are inspirational in that way. So you can just say, hey, college student, I can do this. If you're in town, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help out. And I think out the gate, like doing it for free, like flowers, like at least ranging them. I know flowers are very expensive, but creating that reputation is super helpful.
No, that's smart. Like definitely trying to reach out more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do the video. Like the video is super, like, because the text is, as Kay always talks about, the text is like, okay, I get a lot of these every day. But if they see your face and the person behind it, and use the college card. Say I'm a college student, this is my passion, I'd love to do this after I graduate. I think they're more inclined to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so helpful.
Cool. You got any ideas? Anything you want to throw out? No? You good?
Thinking though.
What are you working on? Oh, Mia, go ahead.
Yeah.
You got the bagel, yeah.
How many people did you end up like poll? Like, how do you say this? Like,
Surveying?
opinion.
Survey?
Yeah.
With Strava,
Yeah.
so it's probably around 1,000. Don't let that discourage. Like if like you don't necessarily need that, right? The only reason why I did that was because I wanted a proof of concept. That's literally it. So if you can get that proof of concept without talking to 1,000 people, then you already checked that box off. So there's different ways to do that. And since running was my avenue, and there was already a platform built for that, I might as well just send that out, right? But what's your business, or what do you?
Bagels.
Bagels, yeah, for sure. So going to bagel shops, saying, hey, is this something that you guys would sell if I offered it to you? I don't know. Just random stuff, just asking the people who are in the market. Maybe to go to a bagel shop and people are walking out of the bagel shop. Clearly they like bagels because they're coming out. Just ask them, hey, I started a bagel company. This is what differentiates myself from Einstein Bagels or wherever they're coming out of. Would you be interested? And the only goal there and the only box to check is just a proof that people would actually want your product. That's it. So you don't need 1,000 people, but you just need a proof of concept. Yeah, for sure.
Especially too, like if you're trying to go how Eve sells to events, or right now you're at Cedarville, so there's a target audience already. Is those who are interested in bagels at Cedarville or beans and cream or Orion. Like you can just ask them and see if they're interested, because they both make baked goods. I mean, that's the only thing that Orion does. They do muffins and bagels. So if it's like, do they want to add an extra thing to their list of bagel options? Yeah, just explore all the avenues. Are you trying to just sell to individuals, or are you trying to get it in a store?
Well, so it's kind of crazy, but I talk to like individuals right now. But my idea is to go kind of like, because I talked to Dr. Overrunner about this and he came up with it. I am asking like the people who are within the school, so like the code and things like that. Like, hey, you know, I haven't done most of this yet. It's all bad, but would you be interested in working with me and doing this so then I can like just get the product out there? Because it seems pretty successful. I have to admit, I've never done anything like this, so like this is all super new, but
Okay.
it's working, kind of.
So you like trying to get booked for events? Like if there's an event, you'll be
That
the.
would be ideal, because I found out the more people who order, which is good, the more people you are relying on to show up.
Yeah.
And like, they will show up, but they message me like a couple of days later, like, I'm so sorry I didn't show up. And I can sell them because people want them, but it's kind of stressful.
Okay. Like distribution is the difficult part right now. Okay.
Interesting. I think reaching out to Orion, and I don't know I know their suppliers probably in Cincinnati or something like that, but if you can give them a offer that it's harder for them to refuse, and you provide them bagels, because that's a constant source, because a lot of people get bagels there, and they're constantly resupplying. If you can try and talk with them and say, hey, I have a bagel company, I know you already sell bagels, I'm just curious, would you be open to possibly switching your provider or your supplier for bagels? Because that's like super nice, and they have their set bagels that they sell, and it's like a consistent thing, and it gets your name out there, and you probably can have a little poster in there saying who the bagels are from. But just getting it out there. What differentiates you? Like, do you have a specific thing that kind of sets you apart? They're good. Yeah.
You should go from you saying like that they're Greek yogurt bagels.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that definitely like sparks like, oh, I've never had that, even though maybe people didn't realize it was in the bagel, but like.
Homemade hometown Greek yogurt bagels or something. Yeah, just like a branding
Yeah, the Greek yogurt
differentiator.
thing. I've never heard of that, but I'd be interested
And
because
they're
I love Greek
fire.
yogurt.
They are
Also,
so good.
Just a side note, how much protein's in the Greek yogurt?
I love it.
Greek yogurt has a lot of protein. You can, yeah, it's like 16 grams for a cup. I'm not sure how much are in each bagel, but if you can sell it like a protein bagel, like if you look at, is it Poppy, the soda company?
Yeah.
Or what's the other one? What's their competitor? What's that? Olipop.
Olipop,
yeah.
yeah.
So they were actually a probiotic drink or something like that, and then they completely did a complete like market rebrand, and now they're a healthy soda. That's like a healthy soda, and so they realized that their market wasn't, that people didn't want a probiotic soda.
Didn't Poppy get sued for being a
They did,
probiotic?
yeah.
You have to have pre before you can have pro.
Yeah, something like that. But all I'm saying is now everybody's like, oh, a healthy soda. I love soda, but I don't like the side effects of it. And so if you can sell like a protein bagel, I guarantee you there's a market for that, 100%.
Because a lot of people like aren't into eggs
Oh, I hate
or
eggs.
sausage and stuff
I
in the
hate eggs,
morning.
yeah.
Like I can't have them plain, even though like we've raised chickens, I've had them all my life. But I always love having bagels in the morning, regardless of whether I force myself to eat eggs or not. So, like positioning that as like you can have this thing that you like while getting protein if you're an athlete, especially because I'd say Cedarville is a fairly active, health-conscious campus. So, be a big market for
You
that.
can charge a premium for that. Like if protein's ever in front of something, it's definitely gonna be more expensive, right? Because there's protein in it, and so you have to have something that does differentiate yourself other than being good, because it definitely is good. The nice thing though is usually when something says that has a lot of protein in it, it tastes terrible. So if your bagels taste amazing and have protein in them, it's the best of both worlds. And if you could position yourself like that, there's a huge market for it.
Just make sure, obviously, you verify that you have protein.
Yeah.
So,
Just
yeah.
calculate it.
I would assume that there's a little bit of protein in your bagels, but it's not like 16 grams per day.
That
Yeah.
would be like 4 grams.
But if you can figure out ways to, if you have eggs or things like that, you could even do one that's like extra protein, and you put protein powder and try different protein powders. Like there's a
Jim Bro
lot of
bagel.
ways.
Just like
Or you could
sprinkling protein in this bagel.
put like the cream cheese in the
For
package
sure.
and then say like it's 7 grams, but they don't know if it's like
Yeah.
like the whole entire package is 7 grams, putting the cream cheese on it, you know?
But go talk to people. Say, would you be interested in a protein bagel? Like just that. You don't know the grams right now, but if you just say, would you be interested in a protein bagel that doesn't taste terrible? Just figure out if I know the market is there, but just for your sake, like. Just
Who
to
in
really
here would
solidify
be
that.
interested in a protein
100%.
bagel?
I eat Greek yogurt and
Definitely
it gets
start
sick.
with Greek yogurt because it like sparks people's.
Yeah, that's fair.
mind. It's so
Yeah.
different
But
than-
you have to, I almost say that's a thing where you have to educate people that it tastes good. Because my first reaction of like Greek yogurt and a bagel, like
It's kind of weird.
a little weird, even though cream cheese and Greek yogurt aren't that different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could be alienating yourself. So you just have to make sure.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So talking to people, say, would you be more interested in a Greek yogurt bagel or a protein bagel? Both have the same, like, the breakdown.
You just don't have to tell them that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Just to see, like, because both have the same, ideally, they both have, like, the same breakdown of what's in it. But how you position yourself is huge.
Yeah.
And so figuring that out. Like, would people be more inclined to see, if they see yogurt bagel on the shelf, would they be more inclined to buy that or a protein bagel? And
You
Yeah.
guys are so smart. I didn't think of any of this. I just
Yeah.
did it.
well, it's
Well,
just a
it's Q's
different
for, yeah.
difference of experience. I mean, you're a junior.
Junior.
correct? So he's been doing it for 2-ish years with Ultralight. So,
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. For sure.
cool. Anyone else have any other?
I have a question.
Go for it.
What's up?
So you said you talked to like 6 manufacturers because you had that one, and then you have 5 more. Or were
5
they-
actually, it's just 5. Yeah, 5 altogether. Yeah, you're good.
But could you like more explain
For sure.
how you did that? Because I've always wondered how the heck people get in contact and like actually get started with manufacturers.
No. I was talking with Habibi before. He's like, if somebody asks that, will you bring it up? You're going to be one of the gurus. He doesn't say anything. No, I'll tell you everything.
Gatekeeper.
Literally, all I did is I went to Alibaba, which is like a Safari or an app. And before that, sorry, rewind. I go to Safari, and I say top athletic clothing manufacturers in China. And it comes up with these different, and then some were like they prioritize leggings, or they prioritize sweatshirts, things like that. And so I find ones that can do hats, and I get their company name and I type it into Alibaba, and you can differentiate from a product and manufacturer, and just click the manufacturer and then you type that in, and then it comes up, and then you have to like submit an order just to like try to get into contact with them. You don't pay anything, but it's just like saying I'd like to place 500 units, this color, and then in that text bubble you say, hey, I'd love to design this product. Here's kind of layout. Here's some images, and then they'll get back to you saying yes we can, no we can't, and then from there you just go back and forth with them. Now the thing that sucks is they're 12 hours ahead of us, so it's a text back and forth that you try to send a bulk text during the day, and then they send a bulk text at night. So like I said, this 6-month time frame can definitely be expedited if you actually have a conversation with them. Now that is a lot challenging because there's that language gap. But I did that with 5 different manufacturers, made sure that they were good, and Alibaba has verifications to make sure that everything within the manufacturer is ethical. So I made sure to check that box because I know that there is that issue. But made sure that was all there, and they sent the prototypes, and then from the different prototypes, I chose the manufacturer that I liked, and then kind of went back and forth with them to try and nail it down. So
What's Alibaba?
Alibaba, yeah, I can type it out for you.
What's the? I just spell it.
Yeah, it's really how it sounds. I think it's alibaba.com. BABA, Alibaba. And it should be like
Say,
orange.
A lot of Chinese words generally are spelled how they sound. It's
I don't know that.
literal language. Like all the cities,
Yeah.
Guangzhou, exactly how it sounds.
But the nice thing is, it's literally like you can download on your phone, like as on the App Store. It's literally just a middleman, but to connect you, you to a manufacturer. That's it. Like because like you think there'd be like an app or somebody that you have to pay to be your middleman, and that's where there's a lot of miscommunication there, and it's a lot simpler than it sounds for sure. So it's literally just an app for you to communicate with different manufacturers. So.
So like what kind of app or like tool you use for your design, and like how did you come up with it? Did you like talk to a lot of people, or was it just plain your vision of what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, so my grandpa was an artist, and so he really influenced me when I was a kid to paint. He actually died before I was a kid, but seeing his paintings, I went and did a lot of art stuff when I was in high school and middle school and all that. So I really do enjoy drawing and mocking up stuff. So I just have Procreate on my iPad, and with the Apple Pencil, I draw it up. But I think, like I said, it's not as hard as it sounds. I literally just I can show you the mock-up image that I sent them. I just said, hey, this is kind of the concept to give them a visual, and then I just sent a whole like big paragraph of this is what I want to do, and I put that in ChatGPT and said, make this clear. Because what you can do is you can literally just spew all your ideas out into a paragraph, and then say make this a lot clearer, so you don't have to think about the grammar or anything like that. And then I just send that up, and then they send it out, and then they get back to you, this doesn't make sense. Okay, cool. And you make sure you have dimensions, like you should have I had a hat in front of me, I put stuff in front of it, like I made sure that the dimensions were right, so it wasn't like all of them trying to figure it out, because they're trying to connect dots too. But it's giving them as much information as possible. And it's really honestly straightforward, because I don't know if this is like a normal thing for just random people to reach out to different manufacturers and do what I did, I honestly don't know if that's common, but it worked for me. So, yeah. And there might be an easier way to do this whole thing, but that's what I did, and I haven't heard anything since. But like with, so I work for Scott Moffitt, and he was one of the judges for the pitch, and he does his business is all product based, and so we have manufacturers overseas, but we have somebody who is our middleman to talk with manufacturers. So it like I was saying earlier, that expedites the process of the back and forth.
So your middleman is outsourced?
Yes,
And are your manufacturers in China?
some are. We have they're all over the world. Yeah.
Can you throw out some other countries? If you don't know, it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's Vietnam, India. I think those are the main ones because just the pricing is there. Right.
Do you guys have certain requirements if they're going to be working with manufacturers?
We do. So that's and we communicate that to our middleman. So like our middleman knows the actual owners of the manufacturers. It's like she knows all these different manufacturers, and she can be like, okay, this is their product that we need to get designed. This is my manufacturer for it, and so she's able to do that. And so we have multiple different people who do that for us.
Now, from like a ethical standpoint specifically,
Mhm.
do you guys have requirements?
I think so. I'm not on the engineering calls, but I guarantee you, given that both our founders are religious, it's definitely a requirement, for sure. Yeah.
I just don't know much about
No,
it.
you're good.
Like, how
Yeah.
big is it, and like, how many people work for you?
Oh, it's small. Like I'm not. This is not a big company here. It's just me.
Employee one?
Yep, employee one.
Perry.
That's me.
Employee two, Perry.
That's me.
Perry.
So I do all of it. I have all my inventory. So I live off campus, but I have all my inventory in my house. So if you guys don't rob my house, because that's all my inventory. But it's just all there. And then I have like a label printer on my desk. I have my packaging in a drawer next to my desk, and so it's very lean. Still very lean. Trying to grow it. That's always the goal. Yeah, right. So it's just.
What was, like, when was, like, has there been, like, a breakthrough moment for you in, like, in any months that's, like, the sales kind of?
Before you answer this,
Yeah.
I think the breakthrough moment, could you talk about the email campaign that you and Cooper did
Yeah.
at Q School? 'Cause I think that was a little bit of a breakthrough moment.
It was, definitely. So the email campaign and all the email marketing. So Strava, there's different groups. It's like Facebook where you can join different groups of your different hobbies. So you can join different groups. Like there's a run group in New York. I can go join that group. I can join different groups who are just purely ultra runners. And so I just had an image, I had a paragraph, and I had my form. And that's what I sent out to each of these groups. They filled it out. I got my market research from that. And then I got their email from it. And you have to make sure with this whole thing, and I don't want to go super into depth, but you have to make sure that they're okay with receiving email marketing, because you can be put on like a blacklist where your domain no longer can like send emails out because people didn't accept these emails in the first place. I won't get into all that, but there's just a box at the very bottom that they have to check so that you can email them. That's it. And so I got 1,000 or so contacts, and then that's what I used for my launch. Is I had 1,000 contacts, or part of the stacking the deck I was talking about earlier. That's part of what I did with that. And so I just sent out all these emails. I kept them warm, and so what that means is the 6-month gap. So say at month 1 I got all their contacts. At month 6 I launched. Just a random timeline. And if you didn't reach out to them that whole 5-month period, they're not going to buy. Like, that's cool that I filled this out, but this isn't, I don't care, really. So what you do is you keep them warm. And so you reach out to them once every other week, just saying, hey, here's an update, or here's just random things. So like currently, I just send out, so with ultra marathons, like there's a lot of mental stuff behind it. And there's a saying where in a marathon, you pretty much go to, I'm not gonna say you go to hell, but that's pretty much where you go, just given your body, you feel like mentally, you're in a lot of pain. In an ultra marathon, you can go to hell, you can come back, you can go back to hell. It's all because it's just a roller coaster. So there's a lot of mental stuff behind ultra marathons. And so I like send out a quote of the week with a pro tip and kind of developing that quote just once every week, just to keep them warm, so that when I do kind of ask for the the ask portion of it. So it's give, ask. They actually will purchase. So that was one of them, to answer his question. The other one was, I don't know when it was. I think it was after the pitch.
Talk about the date and time.
Yeah, so I got picked up by 2 or 3 news stations, purely because one of our, Dr. Weinstein wrote an article. Yeah, so they wrote an article about my company, and then that got picked up by some news corporations. So
They're called the business journals, and a lot of semi-big, semi-small cities and then metros have them. So it's like the Pittsburgh Business Times, the Cincinnati Business Times, Columbus, Dayton. So he got picked up by the Dayton Business Times. They actually had a news piece about 30
yeah, there's like 2
seconds.
news pieces on it, which is cool. Yeah.
And then someone else wrote a news article. Well, Dayton obviously wrote one, but I think some sublet of Fox News also wrote
Yeah.
one about you. And then that was sick. And then we also had that one that we all did.
Oh yeah,
We found out that was a scam later on.
oh, did
Shout
we?
out Colorado.
Is it a scam?
It's a scam.
What?
Because they reached out to Eve and I again with another outlet, and it's through somewhere in LA.
Well, there you go. That's, it's nothing bad.
On the website.
Oh, 100%.
But they just
Literally,
got in contact.
when we say shout out Colorado, it's what you do is they send you like 4 or 5 questions about your company, and you like give them paragraphs, and literally all they do is put those paragraphs, like the questions with the paragraphs, and then put it on their website. That's it. So they didn't write anything. We did all the writing, but it's like you're using their platform. So it's
It's
not
a scam because they can put up articles that they wrote and
that
then
they
you
didn't
can
actually
add them
write.
and move up with these. That's just how they do it.
Yeah. So it's not like actually super scammy,
It's not,
but just to clarify.
So yeah, this was his Instagram.
That's the first. That's the mock-up that I sent to them. That was the first prototype, and then the second one. That's me talking about it.
Let's hear that, let's hear that.
No. Keep going. Oh gosh, I hate hearing my voice. Okay.
Can you turn it up?
Thanks, Habibi.
Or your running shoes, a T-fob, or any other relatively small running accessory. We are currently in the product design phase, so if you are interested, make sure to give us a follow, and we will keep you up to date on any new product developments.
There you go. So that's the second one. That's the second. Yeah, I know.
The first
44 weeks.
We got this, and then we got.
That's the second one. So that was the first hat. Yeah.
Is it a good quality?
Yeah, I'll show it to you. Yeah. Well, this is the second one actually.
So yeah, the first one didn't have any branding on it in the first pages. Then
Yeah. So like if you looked at the hat, so look at the background there. If I gave that to you, you wouldn't be able to find my website. That's my logo, right? And you can't decipher my logo. He asked for.
This is first, Habibi.
So it's a flat bill now. I'll just put it this way, I have good margins. Yeah, just being able to go overseas and purchasing in bulk, I have decent margins. Yeah, so
What's the exact number?
I'm not gonna share the exact number.
How long did it like,
What?
yeah,
Yeah, over. What did you say?
how long did it take for the inventory to like arrive?
So if you can ship it over via sea, it's like 2 weeks. Over air, it's like 1. And China has gotten a lot quicker with their send time.
yeah, they do a lot
Like
more DTC stuff.
really.
Where do you manufacture? Where do you distribute your across?
Where did you
Yeah.
get what
They ship it to my address. Yeah, like because with orders like this relatively small, it's just a huge heavy box, and so it's not like a pallet. Like it's not that big, but it's like we have to deal with the company I work for. We deal with having to ship to, it's called freight on board, like LAX or Austin, and then from there, we have a 3PL, third party logistics, send it to our people. So here's our website. That's my roommate, Trinette, my boy. Cooper.
Wow.
I have a question.
Fellow entrepreneur, and he gives you that review.
Yeah.
I feel like he
That's
needs to
a-
be in talks about it.
How come it's not curved?
Because my market is flat bill.
Oh, flat?
My market, yeah, so
You can
what's
sell
running?
more if it's curved?
I don't know. That's where it's testing. Yeah. The first one was curved. It was trucker. Did anyone else want to see this? Oh, yeah.
That's right.